I feel like the frame's just a little too wide here. Hello, old friend. Okay, I think I'm good. Almost. Oh, I gotta turn that off too. Oh, that's better. That's better background separation. Alright, so today I want to talk about discipline. But Claire, you haven't posted in like 6 months. How are you qualified to talk about discipline? Oh, that's the thing. So this winter, my partner, who I've been seeing for a little over a year and a half now, had a near-death experience. And it kind of threw me for a loop, especially with all of my own surgery that was going on, and I've had some other medical things as well that are very minor. But everything in the last 6 months have just sort of been taking its toll on me, my emotions and my business, and it's been really difficult to manage the multiple projects that I have going on, as well as all of the personal shit. So I want to talk about discipline today because I want to talk about what I've learned when it comes to discipline. I think I released a video in 2015, maybe 16. It was the one titled "You Can Do It." I think it was 16. I think it was 2016. And it was me in a park, Green Lake, and I was just pretty much talking to myself about saying how I can do what I need to do in that moment. Right at that time I was laid off, and I was spending the majority of my time looking for jobs, trying to just make anything happen for myself. But I wasn't disciplined enough to actually do anything. My motivation was there, my drive was there, but I was not ready to handle self-employment at that time because I lacked the discipline to be self-employed. And so it took me, I remember it was about 4 months, and I was making a lot of mistakes. I was smoking too much weed. I was partaking in Adderall as well. And I was trying to supplement my lack of discipline with drugs. I was going on long walks thinking about all these grandiose ideas, trying to do everything that I wanted to do without actually doing them. And eventually the little savings that I had kind of fiddled out. No bites were happening with jobs, and I look back on my resume and I know why now. And I just had to find a job. I had to find income. And so I did the one thing that came to my mind that I was so fearful of doing. I started teaching. And I found a couple students right off the bat. Some people were wanting to work on their singing voice, and so I said, yeah, I feel qualified to do that. I didn't know how to teach, though. I went to school for music education, and I dropped out of school at 3 years because I realized that public education wasn't what I wanted to do. It was at that point in time when I got those few students that I realized that I needed to make some big changes in my life. And suddenly I started seeing what I could be instead of what I will be. And I think there's a big difference there, because could implies work. Will implies luck. And it was this moment in time when I realized that I needed to start, waking up and finding these routines, making my bed every morning, It was, waking up at the same time every single day. And then I started to realize that these little routines that I started building for myself actually started to make an impact on my daily life. And then I suddenly realized, after I started realizing that I needed to stop saying realize, that I needed to have a protein breakfast instead of a carb breakfast, right? I started setting goals for myself. And these goals helped me focus on my discipline and achieve the things that I needed to do to further my career. And so because I was more aware and awake with everything that I had going on, I was pushing myself harder than I had before. And it wasn't out of necessity. Like when I first moved to the city, I was like just doing it because I needed to do it. But this time it was because I was aiming for something. And I worked really hard in this space. I was really alone a lot of the time. I was just kind of head down. It was when I was really pushing my YouTube channel as well. I was releasing probably about a video a month on average at that time, and I was doing a lot, and I was doing it in a very lonely way. And it was because I was so alone that I didn't have these distractions to distract me from actually working on my discipline, getting my job getting my career on a good path. And I felt really, really good about my life and about my career. And I started to see the world taking shape. It was wonderful. There were some personal things that were going on, like I had to move to a new place, and I had some rough dates that I went on that were not the best. But it was that time that I really started learning about myself and my career. When I did move to that new place, it was when my teaching actually started to take off, because suddenly now I had a space to do that. The house was bigger. It allowed me to use the equipment that was already in the space, and so my roommates allowed me to use their piano and their drums, and in this space, I started to really grow. And then I was able to actually afford my own equipment and, make my way. So a little bit of luck happened there. Eventually, I got to a place where I was comfortable, and I didn't really need to work on my discipline anymore. I just felt like what I have achieved was good enough. My career was moving forward, and I was doing well. And so I started, kind of opening my eyes to other projects, and one of those other projects involved my current boyfriend. And he reached out to me asking me to sing on his upcoming album. We got to hanging out. He's a really cool guy. We started dating, and then things got more serious. It was really nice to be with him because he was so driven and motivated, and especially in Seattle, there are not a lot of people that embody that sort of drive and that hustle. So when I met him, I was feeling really, really, really good about everything. And then he started slowing down, and things started getting hard for him, and he was tired all the time, and his discipline started falling apart, and then all of a sudden he was diagnosed with cirrhosis of the liver. And that's when things just kept getting worse. It was actually right at the time I had my SRS. He was in the hospital, so we were both in the hospital at the same time in different parts of the country. And he was going through a near-death experience while I was recovering and trying to support him at the same time. He has now lost over 100 pounds. He's recovering. He's doing really good right now. But during that 6-month time, I was not focusing on me. I was focusing on him. And what happened was my discipline started crumbling. And the things that I worked so hard to build were just gone. I was distracted by my health and his health and everything in between, and I forgot that I run a business, and things got really tough for me. And I just put all of this focus back into my partner, and I just neglected everything else. And I'm now at a point where he's doing much better. He has a job again. He got laid off because he was sick, and a bunch of other things that I can't talk about. But it was one of those things where, like, I didn't realize how far I was regressing with my career until very recently. And so now it is, what day is it? It is the last week of May. And I realized this week, as he's on his first week of work, I realized that I need to focus on my discipline again. And I need to get back into the swing of things and actually put focus, like on this YouTube channel and on the projects and on my music, and not half-ass these things. It's one of those things that discipline is like, it requires constant attention and awareness. And if you're not aware of your discipline, it is gone. And distractions are a really, really, really good way to lose that awareness, especially ones with people that you love. Okay, I think that's all I got for you today. I'm gonna try to do more of these in the future, these one-on-one kind of talks. And I hope you're doing well, and I'll see you at the next one. Bye.